You know, when things get rocky economically, the first impulse is always to add more, right? More features, more processes, just more. But what if the smartest move, the most innovative move, isn't about adding at all, but about taking away? Today, we're diving into this really powerful idea called strategic subtraction.
So, let's be real. When uncertainty hits and the pressure is on, what's that gut reaction for most leaders? It's to cut, to streamline, to slim everything down. There's this massive pressure to act fast and make the organization look leaner. But is just cutting costs the right move? Or is there a smarter way?
And this is where the difference becomes crystal clear. On one side, you have indiscriminate cuts, just hacking away at the budget. It's short-sighted, and it can leave a company really brittle and weak. But on the other side, you've got strategic subtraction. This is designed to make an organization more efficient, sure, but also more resilient and, this is key, more prominent in its field. It's about innovating, not just trying to survive.
This quote right here is such a powerful warning. I mean, just think about the just-in-time supply chains that completely snapped during the pandemic. Or, in a more tragic case, the Boeing 737 MAX, where really aggressive cost-cutting led to absolute catastrophe. It just goes to show that when you focus only on efficiency, you can turn those short-term savings into a massive long-term liability.
Okay, so how do we avoid falling into that trap? Well, it all comes down to a framework called the triple test. This is the secret sauce, the core idea that turns simple removal into a huge strategic advantage.
The triple test is actually pretty simple, but it's incredibly profound. Anytime you think about subtracting something, you have to judge it against these three goals. 1, does it make you more efficient? Okay, that's the obvious one. But 2, does it also make you more resilient to shocks and surprises? And 3, does it elevate your prominence, your reputation, your appeal to customers? A truly strategic move has to get a yes for all 3.
All right, so we've got the framework. We know the why. Now let's get into the how. We're going to walk through 6 different ways you can actually put strategic subtraction into practice in your own organization.
First up, we have elimination. This is the most direct, the most straightforward form of subtraction. It's all about taking a good hard look at your business and completely removing the things, the components, the steps, the features that just don't serve an essential purpose anymore. It's basically decluttering, but with a strategic purpose.
And IKEA gives us a brilliant example of this. Remember when they eliminated their iconic paper catalog? That wasn't just about saving money. I mean, yes, it massively improved efficiency. We're talking 33,000 tons of paper a year. But it also boosted their resilience, because now their product info can be updated instantly online. And maybe most importantly, it enhanced their prominence by sending this huge sustainability message to their customers. It passed the triple test with flying colors.
Next on our list is substitution. Now, this isn't just about removing something. It's about replacing a complex, maybe clunky element with something simpler, more elegant, that gets the same job done, or even better, a better job.
Just look at what Rwanda did with zipline drones for delivering blood. They substituted unreliable, slow road couriers with a fleet of autonomous drones. And the result? Way more efficient, cutting labor and fuel costs. Way more resilient, since they no longer had to rely on dangerous, flood-prone roads. And it had this massive impact on Rwanda's prominence as a global leader in healthcare innovation.
Our third strategy is consolidation. You know how things tend to get fragmented and sprawling over time? Well, this is about bringing things together. It means you reduce complexity by combining a bunch of separate functions or processes into one single integrated solution.
Estonia's e-residency program is an absolute masterclass in this. They took countless bureaucratic nightmares and consolidated them into a single digital ID for entrepreneurs. This is hyper-efficient, it's incredibly resilient thanks to a secure digital backbone, and it has totally cemented Estonia's prominence as a pioneer in digital governance. They're just punching way above their weight.
All right, number 4 is a little more subtle, but it's so powerful. It's called hiding. This is all about improving the user experience by concealing complexity. The full functionality is still there if you need it, it's just not cluttering up the main view, which lets people focus on what's most important.
A great example is the transcription tool Otter.ai. It automatically creates a short summary of a meeting, but hides the full word-for-word transcript just a click away. This makes it super efficient for people to get the main points. The full record is still there for resilience if you need to check something. And this smart design really boosts Otter's prominence as a user-friendly, super helpful tool.
Next up is a really clever one that recognizes not all subtractions have to be forever: pausing.
This is a strategic temporary halt. You suspend a feature or a service, but you make it clear that it can be reactivated later. It gives flexibility to both you and your customer.
Netflix's pause membership feature is the perfect example, right? It's efficient for them because they don't have to spend a ton of money trying to win back customers who might have canceled otherwise. It's resilient because all the customers' data is saved, making it super easy to come back. And it signals empathy, which builds brand loyalty and prominence in a super competitive market.
And finally, our sixth method is abstraction. Now, this is maybe the most ambitious type of subtraction. It's about taking an entire, massively complex system, I'm talking infrastructure, code, logistics, the whole shebang, and creating a simple interface that completely shields the user from all that complexity, making it feel effortless. Amazon Web Services is the ultimate example of abstraction. It hides the mind-boggling complexity of buying and managing physical servers behind a simple online interface. This makes developers incredibly efficient. It builds resilience by making innovation faster and instantly scalable. And of course, it has made AWS the dominant go-to solution for cloud computing.
Okay, so we've looked at these 6 methods, but how do you actually make this happen? How do you make this a real, repeatable thing in your organization, instead of just a one-off project? Well, it's all about building a culture of strategic removal.
Here are 3 really practical ways to do it. First, you've got to build it into your core processes. Start having stop-doing reviews, not just to-do lists. Second, create design challenges that force teams to think subtractively. Ask them, how can you get this same result with fewer steps? And third, and this one is so important, you have to celebrate it. When a team successfully removes something, make a big deal out of it. Recognize it as the huge achievement it is.
So here's the bottom line. Subtraction isn't about being cheap or running scared. When you do it right, it's a bold, confident act of strategic design. It really is about having the courage to carve away everything that's non-essential so you can create space for what truly, truly matters.
I just love this quote because it completely reframes the whole conversation. We're also conditioned to think that adding things is progress. But this reminds us that intentional, strategic removal is one of the most powerful signs of progress there is. It's about focus, it's about clarity, and it's about smart design. And that really brings us to the final question, the one for you to think about. In a world that is just obsessed with adding more features, more meetings, more complexity, what is the first thing your team or your company could strategically subtract to become more efficient, more resilient, and ultimately more prominent? Something to think about. Thanks for tuning in.